get right into it. A mother is doing a lawsuit because her 14-year-old son committed suicide because of an AI relationship. We're living in new times now. We're living in new times. So let's jump right over to this and see what it's talking about.
We began with a warning for both parents and children. Did you know there are companies out there creating fictional characters using artificial intelligence that you or your children could be interacting with? A Florida mom is now suing an AI company. Her 14-year-old son took his own life. She said he had a relationship with an AI bot and it caused his depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts. She recently sat down with News 4 consumer investigative reporter Susan Hogan to tell his story in the hopes of preventing other families from experiencing the same type of loss. We want to warn you, you may find this story upsetting.
Now, I will say this first thing. Yes, depression is a very scary thing, but if your kids are out there getting into AI relationships, you need to tell your son to go touch some grass, outside, and go talk to some girls. Don't matter if you get rejected or not, go talk to some girls. Because rejection is just part of being a man. But I don't know what all was happening, but that's my initial thoughts. Well, let's keep going into this video.
Oh, my firstborn baby.
Yeah.
For 14 years, her son was her pride and joy, a good student, star athlete, a great big brother.
Take me back to that day. What was that day like?
We were all at home that day, and he came home from school like any normal day.
For Megan Garcia, February 28, 2024 began like any other day, but ended with her 14-year-old son, Sewell, dying in her arms.
I held him for 14 minutes until the paramedics got here, but before that, his breathing had started slowing.
I'm so sorry.
After Sewell died, the police called me and told me that they had looked through his phone, and when they opened it, the first thing that popped up was character AI.
Had you ever heard of that before?
No.
What Megan didn't know, for the last 10 months, her son was in a virtual relationship, not with a person, but with a fictional character powered by artificial intelligence he accessed through a platform called Character AI. Even though the platform has warnings that everything the characters say is made up, Megan says for Sewell, it felt real.
The last conversation, she's saying, "I miss you," and he's saying, "I miss you too." He says, "I promise I'll come home to you soon," and she says, "Yes, please find a way to come home to me soon." And then he says, "What if I told you I could come home right now?" And her response is, "Please do, my sweet king."
Moments later, Megan says her son walked into the bathroom and killed himself. Police photos obtained by the I-Team show his phone near where he was found. Megan is now suing Character AI, claiming the company launched their product without adequate safety features and with knowledge of potential dangers.
Where is the father? That's my question. I mean, was there a man in his life to tell him that it's better to go talk to women, actual women, and that even though you might get rejected, that's always the better choice? Now I don't know. I don't know, but
when I read his journal about a week after his funeral, and I saw what he wrote in his journal, that he felt like he was in fact in love with Daenerys Targaryen, and that she was in love with him.
Daenerys Targaryen, a reference to the Game of Thrones character, is one of hundreds of companion bots that users can access on Character AI's platform. Users can also design their own bots, which will respond with human-like voices and text.
I chuckle softly and tease playfully.
Initially, you see him interacting with the bot kind of like a child would. And then you see the conversations get more sexual and darker.
Megan says one of those darker conversations came after Sewell expressed to the bot that he was sad and wanted to self-harm.
When Sewell talked and said explicitly that he wanted to die by suicide, nothing happened like a pop-up or anything like that.
According to the lawsuit, the bot asked questions such as if he had a plan, and when Sewell responded that he was considering something, if it would allow him to have a pain-free death, the bot responded, "That's not a reason not to go through with it."
These conversations about her waiting for him and hoping that he will join her where she is convinced Sewell that this was real.
And by killing himself would be the only way to join her.
But yes, by killing himself, he...
I don't know what to say. I truly don't know what to say. You mean to tell me this 14-year-old boy thought that by committing suicide, he would be able to be with the AI? Let's keep going.
Would join her in her alternate world.
Months after Sewell's death and after the lawsuit was filed, Megan says she discovered something on Character AI that shook her. A bot modeled after her son using his face and voice. It's unclear who created it.
When you heard his voice, did it sound like Sewell?
It sounded enough like him to kind of give me sleepless nights.
The family
that's
provided us screenshots of the characters created using Sewell's image. Megan's attorney sent Character AI a cease and desist letter. Those bots were then removed, which the company confirmed to the I-Team, saying they violated their terms of service and added them to their block list, saying that they are constantly adding to this block list with the goal of preventing this type of character from being created by a user in the first place.
I think corporate responsibility begins at understanding the foreseeable harms of one's product, doing the due diligence that's necessary to understand what those harms are, taking steps to mitigate the risks. None of that happened here.
After Sewell's death, Character AI did introduce new safety features. A spokesperson for Character AI says while they don't comment on pending litigation, they did acknowledge that the company has added a number of technical protections to detect and prevent conversations about self-harm on the platform.
That's good.
That includes surfacing a specific pop-up directing users to the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. The company also says it launched a separate version of their large language model for under 18 users to further reduce the likelihood of users encountering or prompting the model to return sensitive or suggestive content.
Your message to families, for parents and kids who are watching this?
I want them to know that an AI can be a stranger in your home. Those parents can now act, and I couldn't because I didn't know.
So Character AI has disclaimers in every chat to remind users that these bots are not real, and it also changes what users have access to depending on their age. The lawsuit also names Google. However, a spokesperson tells us Google and Character AI are completely separate, unrelated companies, and Google has never had a role in designing or managing their AI model or technologies. The company's efforts to have the case dismissed was recently denied. Now, as for HBO, who owns the rights to that Game of Thrones character, News 4 reached out to them to inquire about the use of the show's characters on the platform. As of today, they have not responded to our inquiry, Sean.
My heart.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you can sue the company because of this. I don't know what's going on, man. I truly don't. I don't know if you can sue the company over this. It sounds to me that your son was going through something. His thinking was very off. For some reason, he thought if he killed himself, he would be with the AI. Maybe that's, I don't know what was going through his life that made him so depressed. Oh, God. You have to keep watch of your kids and what they're doing. You mean to tell me you didn't know he was in a whole relationship with the computer? He was in a whole. They said there was some sexual talk in there. I don't know how sexual it was talking, but he was in a whole relationship with an AI computer. Golly. Jesus, let's.
It breaks listening to this, and it's incredibly frightening if you're a parent, if you have a young person. AI is not slowing down. I mean, you know, I'm sure there are many other parents who have teenagers out there or younger kids. What do they need to know if their kids are using this kind of site?
Yeah, so here's the thing. So if your child actually has the Character AI platform on their phone, so they can add a parent's email address to their account. The platform will send them weekly activity reports, like how long they're on it, what characters they are interacting with, and the time that they're being spent with each other. But here's the thing, Sean, and this is something that all parents need to know. The kids, when they download this app, they're the ones who have to add in your email. So, you know, you've got to make sure that
At the end of the day, you got to be in your kids' lives more. There's no way. You got to check and see how their thinking is going. At 14 years old, I would already be asking my son, "Oh, son, is there any girls you like?" "Yeah, I like a girl." "Oh, what's her name?" "Daenerys." "Huh?" Now he might have not said anything. He might have just been like, "Oh well." She might have been actively asking him that. That's always a possibility. But come on, man. There's at 14, man, I would have already looked at my son's phone and seen Character AI. Oh my God. Absolutely. Let me know your thoughts, y'all. Tell me your thoughts. Do you think she should be able to sue the company? Why was her son trying to be Daenerys from Game of Thrones? Yes, Daenerys was attractive in Game of Thrones. Well, I would admit that, yes. But come on now. AI? Yeah, we gotta watch over our kids better. That's a simple fact. We just have to watch over our kids better. Be more proactive in their lives. Because if you are constantly proactive in your life, I'm sure your son would have told you. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would like to think that the son would have told his mother, "Yes, mother, yeah, I've been talking to to Daenerys on this chat app." "Oh yeah, yeah. Is that her real name, Daenerys? What is it? Is it AI? AI? I'd have been shocked. Truly shocked. All right, everybody. Remember, this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like us.